Now, Abdu, you used a big word. I sounded like a new word, bioclasm. And you talk in your book about two tsunamis that are surging towards us, bioclasm and AI mania. I'm going to toss the ball to you. Explain that. You've talked a little bit about bioclasm. Just refresh us again and then talk about this other tsunami, which is AI mania.
Absolutely. And so I use the word tsunami in the book because tsunamis are caused by sea quakes. It's earthquakes in the ocean that cause these tidal waves that wash over everything, and they're almost unstoppable. Well, they are unstoppable as far as we know. And the sea quake that started the tsunamis was the post-truth culture. It's important we recognize this. The post-truth culture is one that elevates feelings and preferences above facts and truth. It doesn't deny that truth exists. It simply says, facts and truth are subordinate to my preferences and my feelings. And that's the culture we're currently in. Well, because of that, two things have surged. From that sea quake, there are two tsunamis. The first one is bioclasm, which is that whole idea that we are the gods of our own universe. And what I prefer, whether it's I prefer to be called a certain gender, non-gendered, agendered, whatever it might be, you are now required to affirm whatever I say, despite biological reality. And that is one surge going forward. It's about identity, but it's an enforced one. AI mania is the second one. And in the second surge, the second tsunami, what we have now is a fascination with, and I would say an unbridled enthusiasm of the embrace of artificial intelligence, using it all the time. And the reason why that is related to the gender ideology is, notice something. The gender ideology issue coerces you, or actually sort of like forces you into denying science and denying what your own eyes see, and even denying some of the social science that shows how harmful this is to everybody. The AI mania, with its deep fakes and its ability to fool you into a million different things, whether you create deep fake videos or deep fake images, or you create these AI chatbots that we begin to converse with and we think this is actually a person, and we interact with it personally and form relationships, even romantic attachments to it, begins to collapse our sense of reality as well. So now we have a hard time believing our own eyes. So with gender, we're required to not believe our own eyes. With AI, we're seduced into not believing our own eyes because we think the deep fakes are cool.
Explain that. Explain what you mean by seduce.
So when you look at, absolutely, a great question. When you look at how easy it is for us to use artificial intelligence, take the LLMs, the chatbots, the chat GPTs and the Geminis and Copilot and Claude and all these things. They're wonderful tools. And I'm not anti-AI. This is important. I'm not anti-AI. What I'm worried about is not what the AI will do, but what human beings will do to themselves by using it. So the seduction is to use it to do everything for us. To create images and to suggest that we've created art when we really haven't. One of the stories that got me interested in this in the first place happened a few years ago when there was a person named Jason Allen who entered into a digital art contest as part of a larger art contest out west here in the States. And he won first prize for his digitally created art. Now, digital art is a legitimate art form. You take a digital pen, you apply it to a tablet, and you create art very similar to how you would do it with an actual paintbrush. It was later discovered that this guy, Jason Allen, didn't create anything using his hands. Rather, he just typed in prompts into a AI generative software called Midjourney. And then that created a image, and he tweaked it here and there, but it created this dazzling image that was very impressive, and he won first prize. Well, the other artists were upset about it and said, wait a minute, you can't do that. We translated the images in our mind to the works of our hands, and that's what art entails. This is just wrong. Well, he got to keep his first prize, and he said, at the end of it, he said, this is over. Art is dead. AI won, humans lost. He was bragging about it as an artist. And so the point is that it makes it easy to call yourself an artist when you put none of the hard work in. You write an essay, you write an op-ed, you write whatever it is, and it's this cleverly worded thing that you use AI to generate it for you completely. And it's seductively easy to have this thing do all the work for you. But all along the way, we lose something important about what it means to be human. We lose these human faculties, and the studies that are coming out right now are showing that when we use LLMs like ChatGPT, et cetera, to create things for us, not to help us create, but to create things for us, we incur what's called cognitive debt. We start to lose our memories and our ability to create, and we get paralyzed in our decision-making and even loneliness through the whole thing.
So do you see
that's part of the
is this
seduction.
the greatest threat in your mind that AI brings, what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike. I think the greatest threat of AI is not that the machines will become more human, it's that the humans will become more like machines. We will just respond to the algorithms and we'll give into the predictions and we'll click yes when it says, you might like this, you might like that. Yeah, click, and be like a robot when we respond. Ultimately, I think the biggest threat isn't just that we use the machines to do our thinking for us, but that when we lose our ability or atrophy our ability to creatively think, we'll lose our sense of humanity. And that sense of humanity has to be anchored in something objective. And that's where I think the Christian faith comes in. Amongst many things, one of the central arguments in the book is that the Bible has been talking about this for centuries and centuries before either Bioclasm or AI Mania came about, is that we need to anchor ourselves in an objective reality of what it means to be human, not a biochemical reality, and not a fantasy reality. The biochemists, the atheists would say you're just a biochemical machine and that's all you are. And then the post-truth folks would say, you're a God of your own making. Well, you can't be both. And the Bible says that's what human beings struggle with. Rather, we're this beautiful thing right in the middle.
Abu, I'm going to cut in.
We are made in God's image.